Hi, I'm Angela. I thought the best way to show the contextual and practical differences between digital and paper exams would be to compare the IGCSE, which is one of the bigger examination boards used by international schools, with the MYP on-screen exams. And I thought the history exam was a very good example to highlight some of the differences. So I'm looking at paper 2, the 2017 source analysis part of the IGCSE exams. So this is a 2-hour exam for students, and there are two options, the 19th century and the 20th century, but I'm just showing you in the following slides the sources that are on the 20th century option. So there are 6 written sources and 2 visual sources, and at the end students have to answer 6 questions. But as you can see, it's a lot of text-based information that needs to be read by students, and there's not a lot of support for them with the reading. This is the first visual text, more written sources. The second visual text, and so on. And now let's look at the questions and evaluate them using Bloom's taxonomy. There are 6 questions in total. The students are given the sources to evaluate, and there are 2 parts to the question. So the first question that you can see there is, how far do these 2 sources agree? That's source A and B. And then for all 6 questions, the second part is explain your answer using details of the source. So the first part of the question, really this is knowledge-based information and factual recall. So according to Bloom's taxonomy, this is really the remembering level of understanding. And let's look at the second part of each question, and you can see it is explain your answer for all the questions, and really this links to the analysing level of Bloom's taxonomy. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an understanding about the nature of an IGCSE history examination, one of the papers, and now let's compare with the MYP on-screen exam. So this is the exam interface that the students are working with on this history 2-hour exam. There are 9 questions. We want to look at question 5 because that is the one about source analysis that compares with the IGCSE example. So the way that students are responding, I think, is much more engaging and interesting than the type of questions that we saw with IGCSE. Here they're raising awareness and writing a newspaper article about unfair treatment of people throughout history. So the sources are visual, there's a lot less text, different time periods are offered. This source is about Nazi Germany, and then we have South Africa, the United States, the caste system in India, the suffragette movement, and lastly slavery. When students are ready to answer the question, they can enter the title of their newspaper article in this text box here. Of course, they can edit the text. They have to respond to these 4 prompts. They could copy and paste them into the text box below to make sure that they didn't forget any of the content that they have to include. And this is an explain question. I want to quickly show you question 1 because this emphasises the MYP's focus on the process of learning. This question is about significant individuals, and the prompt for the question is this video.
Today, you're going to be split into two groups to plan an investigation. Your investigation will help you prepare for a debate. The topic of the debate will be the following statement of inquiry. Significant individuals are the main cause of change in history. A significant individual is not the same as being a celebrity. Significant individuals make a difference because their ideas and/or actions make an impact on societies. Their impact could be due to their intelligence, wisdom, culture, ideology, or simply their charisma. They may want to generate change for good or bad reasons. Examples of significant individuals include Martin Luther, a religious reformer of the 16th century who established the Protestant religion that still exists today; Henry Ford, the inventor of the Model T car in 1908, which changed the way we travel forever; Joseph Stalin, the communist leader of the Soviet Union from 1929 to 1953, who transformed Russian politics and society overall. However, there is another view to this debate, one that argues other factors such as natural disasters or economic crisis change the behavior of societies. Earthquakes, poor agricultural harvests, and stock market crashes all contribute to social change. In our debate, Group A will argue that the ideas, actions, or innovations of significant individuals have been the main cause of change in history. Group B will argue that other factors, such as environmental, technological, or economic factors, have been the main cause of change in history. To start your investigation, you will need to do the following. Formulate a research question, justify the relevance of your research question, formulate a sub-question, and identify primary and secondary sources.
So the students respond to the video below, and they're conducting an investigation, and they're showing their skills of learning rather than just recalling content knowledge. I also liked that they're given some content information that helps them with other questions on the exam about the significant individuals, and they were also given an alternative perspective which relates to question 3 that we'll take a look at now. There is another video.
During the past week, Group B have been working on their action plan and will now present the research methods they will use.
We had to support the position that other factors, such as environmental, technological, or economic factors, have been the main cause of change in history. We chose to investigate the Wall Street crash and how this changed society. We chose the following research methods to carry out our investigation for the debate.
For media research, we will search online for documentary footage of people's reactions during the Wall Street crash in 1929. We would also like to include statistics on the economic situation of the different social classes in the United States before and after the crash.
We also plan to interview an American historian about the impact of the Wall Street crash on American society.
I'd like you to help Group B by evaluating their research methods.
So I really like this question because I think it models a much more connected and a collaborative approach to learning. Students are peer assessing the work of the students in the video there. Yeah, I think it's a really great question. So I hope that shows you some of the features of the on-screen exams and shows the differences between the traditional paper exam and the much more dynamic, interactive and engaging digital environment.